In control. What happened to Virginia Giuffre? Look at the type of responses we get. She is in witness protection. Look at the types of responses to the questions here. Might want to do a screenshot.
Giuffre, the fearless woman who stood up to the monsters in power, is gone. The official story? Suicide. But anyone who's been paying attention knows better. Virginia warned us again and again that if she died under suspicious circumstances, it would not be by her own hand. The elite paedophile ring thought they won. They thought they silenced her as they have silenced so many others. They were wrong. Because Virginia didn't just fight for her life, she fought for the truth. And she left behind her final weapon, a dead man's switch. A digital time bomb set to blow the lid off the world's ugliest secrets. And now, it's been triggered.
If you're watching this, it means they got me. My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins.
So, what's inside? Names, dates, forensic proof of household names and VIPs visiting Epstein's pedophile island, including Barack Obama, yet another US president caught in Epstein's web. And it goes further. We're talking multiple world leaders and European royalty, multiple Hollywood household names including George Clooney, multinational CEOs and philanthropists including Bill Gates, and details of the sickening medical experiments he performed on children.
What did you think when you heard these stories of these 2 judges with all of the victims you've talked to of illegal alien activity, with all the work the Border Patrol does on the border? What goes through your mind?
Well, thank God it's about time. And I've got sources inside the administration we're talking to that say this is just the beginning. There's going to be many more. So that is a breath of fresh air for the American people. These are the guys that have been aiding and abetting. And think about this, Grant. These are the judges that were dismissing without prejudice all of the immigration cases, over 1 million in 1 year. They dismissed these illegal aliens basically to let them go into our country scot-free and eventually get citizenship. The biggest question I have is to find out how many of them not just are harboring, not just are protecting. They think that they're going to get away with it. They think they might get a slap on the wrist. But how many of them are directly tied to the cartels or tied to some other foreign entity that's been paying them? That's where we really need to send the investigations. And I really hope Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and the rest of them are doing that. I have no doubt, again, in hearing some of what I'm hearing in the back channels, that more is coming. And again, just speaking on behalf of the American people, it's about time.
This man. Why Chinese Americans support Trump? All right. So the reason is the Democrat administration, Biden administration, lead this country towards socialism and eventually towards communist dictatorship. We came from China. We know this is the way. This is not like people here don't understand what is a communist is. We know communist is, what communist is. That's why we support Trump.
You know, as immigrants, a lot of people might say that Trump is anti-immigrants or,
Trump is not anti-immigrant. It's just against illegal immigrant. It must be lawfully.
This means a lot coming from a Chinese citizen. Trump 2024.
Some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. We cannot share information from floor to floor in this building because it's stored on dozens of different technological systems that are inaccessible or incompatible.
Yet we continue to feed that bloated machine anyway, and this is where the trillions of dollars went missing. And wasn't there a Senate hearing looking into the missing $6 trillion? Folks, all this information's out there. The dollar is not, it has no meaning really. It's simply being bantered around. It has no worth to it. People just want it handed to them. No, the real money you have to work for. Real money is finite. We're going to learn that as we continue to move forward. The Trump effect, $5.2 trillion total investment secured. Donald Trump says, I'm bringing back Columbus Day back from the ashes. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and of all the Italians that love him so much. They tore down his statues, put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. Well, you'll be happy to know Christopher is going to be making a major comeback. I'm here reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, dates, and locations as it had been for the many decades before. So David Stockman on why and how to fire 42,000 IRS agents, a true scandal of current American fiscal governance, needs to be commented on, or better still, hammered upon good and hard. To wit, the American electorate apparently doesn't give a crap about runaway government spending because, as a practical matter, the overwhelming share of voters don't pay the taxes to fund it. Aside from social insurance taxes, which most payroll taxes still believe to be a premium for government-sponsored retirement annuity, the bottom 90% of households fund only a tiny fraction of the federal spending.
Here's some Las Vegas breaking news that hasn't made the news yet. MGM Resorts just told all of their concierge employees across all of their properties, with the exception of Aria and Bellagio, that they are being laid off. This is a couple weeks after laying off the valet, doorman, and bellman at Excalibur and announcing the closure of the Luxor Buffet. We know that travel and tourism is down. Aside from global issues and the Canadians boycotting us, many Americans fear that we are headed for a recession and they are tightening up their spending. But what's going on at MGM feels a little bit bigger than that. Multiple executives in recent months have resigned or are rumored to be considering resignation, with small downsizings and rumors of more occurring at multiple properties. This is after raising resort fees and parking fees twice in 2024. Fees keep going up and amenities are being scaled back. It feels like everyone's trying to be tight-lipped about this, but I think we need to talk about it. Are more layoffs coming? Is this a sign of the times? Let me know what you think and follow me for all the Vegas.
Yes, folks, layoffs are in fact coming. The reason why is because the Keynesian economic model has sliced and diced the dollar into oblivion. And we just found out yesterday that we are currently looking at 375 paper ounces of silver has been sold for every 1 ounce of physical silver that exists. You can do that first. Yeah. Well, folks, here's an oratory that I wanted to put together for you today. As one of the reasons we're running a little bit late, but hopefully you'll appreciate it. Today, I want to explore two powerful symbolic actions: planting a flag on property and capturing a flag in midst of a war. These actions go beyond mere physical gestures. They carry deep meaning and reflect both ownership and conquest. They represent something timeless, something that transcends history, borders, and ideologies. Our forefathers refused to have our American flag removed during at least two fierce battles, Fort McHenry and Iwo Jima. Let's first talk about planting a flag on property. When someone plants a flag on a piece of land, they are making a declaration. This is no small act. It's not just a flag fluttering in the wind. It's a statement of intention, of claim, of ownership. The land is now theirs, and in larger sense, that flag becomes a symbol of control, authority, and often responsibility. Let's reflect on President Trump stated 2 days ago, planting two flags in our national treasure. Our United States White House. Why no flag until now? Any of you wondered about that? Think about it from the context of the pioneers and earlier explorers. When they arrived in new shores and new territories, the first thing they did often was plant their flag. This was not simply a form of personal pride or celebration. It was a proclamation to the world: I am here, this land is now mine. Now it doesn't always have to be physical land, does it? When you plant your flag in your life and your beliefs in your community, it's the same concept. You're taking a stand, you're taking a stake, you're staking your claim. In a way, you're marking your territory, your space in this world, just as you might stake your claim in the precious metals market, hold your coin of the realm. When you plant the flag on property, it's not just about ownership, it's about defining what's yours and solidifying your position. What about capturing a flag in times of war? Capturing a flag in battle is an act of victory. It's the moment when one side proves their superiority, their strength, and their strategy. Are we in a war now? In ancient battles, the flag was often most cherished object, and carrying the insignia of many of the army or nation. Who played capture the flag? Capturing it was a symbolic or overpowering the enemy, of breaking through their defenses or defeating their resolve. In many ways, the captured flag represents more than just a battle won. It signifies the collapse of an ideology or belief system, the forced submission of one side to the will of another. The flag that's once waved proudly in the wind as a symbol of power and identity is now in the hands of the victor. The battle might be over, but the symbolism leering far beyond the battlefield. This act is not just a tactical move, it's a psychological blow. It breaks the spirit of the enemy while raising the morale of the victor. It shows dominance. But the capturing a flag doesn't always mean the end of the story. It can also mean a call to action. It signifies a shift in power. And history tells us that those who capture the flag often have to fight to hold on to it, don't we? The flag itself, whether it's on the battlefield or in the boardroom, continues to be a beacon of the power struggle. In modern times, when we see someone plant a flag or capture one, it's not always in the same context of literal warfare. It might be an ideological war, a financial battle, or a battle for truth and justice, as we're putting out here. Think about the battles fought by those who defend personal freedom or for financial sovereignty. People plant flags in the form of a stand, a belief, or a cause. And sometimes these acts lead to the capture of something, a truth, an idea, or even a movement that forces others to recognize and acknowledge its power. As we reflect back on these two powerful symbols, planting and capturing a flag, let's ask ourselves, what does it mean in the world we live in today? Are we planting flags of sovereignty in our own lives, our beliefs, or even in our financial decisions? Are we capturing the flags of truth, justice, and the pursuit of a better world? Remember, the flags we plant today, whether they are on personal property or ideas we stand for, are the markers of our journey. And the flags we capture are symbols of what we have overcome, the victories we've claimed, and the moments that shape history. So as you move through your day, think about the flags you've planted and the flags you still want to capture. What are you staking your claim on? What battles are you fighting and what victories are you claiming? Fight for your financial future. Fight for your financial freedom. Hold real money, not that issued by the Federal Reserve through the Bank for International Settlements, a private company. Been doing it a long time. They're going under. Own and hold your own country's coin of the realm. Hold on for dear life, hoodle dimes. They're currently just $1.02 over spot. Not going to find anything cheaper than that. Together, let's continue to plant those flags of hope, truth, and freedom. And let's capture the flags of victory that are waiting for us. Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
Amen.